Hello and welcome to After the Whistle. I am your host, Brian Dorrington, here with Matchbox Mukala Kabungo.
This has been quite the week, and it's only Wednesday.
Yeah, it has been quite the week.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a kind of an interesting show because normally Mukala puts down a rundown and he sends it to me. He actually did put down a rundown, but he didn't send it to me. So I have no idea what any of the topics are on this show. So it's going to be kind of a surprise. I feel incredibly unprepared, but we're going to roll with it.
I forgot. It's not my fault.
It's not his fault.
I didn't get enough sleep.
He didn't get enough sleep. He's been busy live at the Celtics game, watching them completely blow up against the Orlando Magic, which we'll talk about. We will talk about it later. But first, let's get to the Patriots versus Chicago Bears. Crazy back and forth game. What was your take?
My take was the Bears offense. Bears offense has been improving. They've
thrown the ball 50 times.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't understand why any team would throw the ball 50 times. You're not going to win many games if you throw the ball 50 times.
Unless you're the Saints.
Yeah, but solid game. The Patriots, special teams, got them some touchdowns.
There he is.
Two touchdowns from special teams, the kick return and the block punt.
Yeah.
James White again was playing solid football. Julian Edelman had himself a game. He caught his first touchdown of the season. Josh Gordon, he's picking it up over 100. I think he had exactly 100, right? Yeah, so he had a solid game. So it's without Gronk, too. So they did all this without Gronk. So it seems like the offense is starting to click it up. Defense, they did what they need to do. They did just enough to stop them because the Patriots at one point were up 38-24. So this was a good game by them, and now they got a JV team coming up. But this was a solid win another solid win for the Patriots, especially on the road. They're showing their improvements. The panic that everybody had after the loss to the Lions, I knew it was all overreaction. People were overreacting. This is the Patriots. Once we get into October, that's when they start playing solid football, and here we are.
Yeah, the Patriots, the offense has looked sharp. It's going to look sharp all season long. And you're just going to see this in the NFL now with the rules changes, these high-scoring, close games. It's across the NFL. Yep. It's tough to be a defender in these days and age in NFL, especially a defensive lineman or a cornerback. There's just so many flags now, and players have learned to play off a guy and not get the flag, but that's left the more possibilities for scoring, which does make the games more exciting, but you're going to see...
That's what the owners want.
That's what the owners want. That's what the league wants. So you're going to see these high-scoring games. It doesn't not necessarily mean the defenses, aren't as good as they were 4 or 5 years ago. It's just the nature of how the game changed and evolved.
And usually we'll see the defense play better when it starts getting colder out. Outdoors, I should say. Indoors, no. But, when you start with those teams that play outdoors, you'll see more defense, better defense being played. But for the indoors teams, not so much. And, the Patriots came away 2 interceptions over here. Mitchell Trubisky, this is a guy we're just like on the fence about.
Well, I'm still on the fence about him.
Yeah, but he did play well. I mean, granted,
he's a great athlete.
Granted, he threw the ball 50 times, but that touchdown run he had when he just went backwards and I think he covered like 50 yards or something like that. Yeah, so he's an athletic quarterback. The Bears got something good going on here, so I'm impressed with them.
They do, and they're definitely that's a wide open division out there in the NFC North. And my one takeaway was that the Patriots need help covering tight ends because the past few weeks we've gotten beat up by tight ends, and we've played a couple good ones, but Trey Burton is nowhere near Kelsey, and I think he was their number one guy. He was doing a lot of damage against us. Patriots really got to – the good thing is there's not that many good tight ends in this league at this point, but that's something the Patriots have to improve on.
Down the line. You might see some good tight ends with some of the contending teams. They have decent tight ends. I mean, Trey Burton's getting 9 catches for 126 yards. Imagine what a much better tight end. Zach Ertz, even the guy from the Steelers, I think.
And Kelsey tore us up. Eric Ebron tore us up.
Yep.
So that's an issue that the Patriots are going to have to address. I don't know whether it's getting a quicker linebacker or making Chung play man-on-man against the tight end. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
My thing is, I don't like – Chung is probably one of the worst cover safeties in the league, and I don't like seeing him in coverage. Every time he's in coverage –
I think that's a little little bit.
No,
I think that's a little harsh.
he's not good at covering. He's good at tackling, but covering not so much. Him and McCourty, they're not that good at covering, but they're good. They can tackle, but they can't cover it.
Well, they do need to adjust some ways, and hopefully this week, like you said, we got the Bills coming in, which we'll talk about next. And we did all this without Sony Michel and Gronk.
Yeah.
So overall, I think it was a great game for the Patriots, considering what they had and considering that the Bears are a great up-and-coming team.
Yeah.
I do hate seeing a quarterback run for 70-some-odd yards. I
I think he ran 80-something total yards.
80-something total yards. And I think one of the rushes was actually ended up, I think he actually ran 70 total yards on the play. But good win for the Patriots. Now let's talk about really a no-win situation when you face the Bills, because if you blow them out, you're supposed to happen, and nobody's going to give you any credit for it. But if by the slim chance you lose against the Buffalo Bills, you're off. Your season's done.
Yeah, the Bills are just not a good football team. They are terrible in every aspect of the game. They can't run it. They can't pass it. They can't cover anybody. I mean, they're pretty much playing for the first round for a first overall pick, the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, it'll be Arizona, I think. Arizona
them in
or
Arizona.
Buffalo.
They're contending for that one, because watching the Bills, it's just, how did the Vikings lose to them?
In such a brutal fashion. I don't know. That was the Vikings losing more than the Buffalo Bills winning.
Yeah, so the Patriots definitely should win this upcoming game, because nothing says that the Bills could actually keep up with them. Derek Anderson, I think he'll be playing. I mean, he's a vet, but he's not really going to do much. Their defense is never good. So hopefully the Patriots blow them out so they could give Brady some of their starters some rest and get some of the other guys in, because you may need some other guys that are on the bench to step up, because injuries, some of the players being injured, Gronk being injured. So just get it out the way quick, blow them out, get the reserves in, then rest up, and because this division is the Patriots to win. The Jets aren't good. The Dolphins, they got a good record, but they're not good. So the Patriots I'm sure they'll handle their business.
Yeah, it's really amazing to me how the Buffalo Bills fell so far in 1 year. I mean, they were a playoff team last year. Didn't they get a win too? I think they did.
No. They lost to the Jaguars.
That's right. They lost
the first
round,
but that was their first playoff appearance. It was the
first playoff appearance since like the 90s,
or something,
when we were still in diapers. So I can't believe such a fall from literally probably setting some of the records for worst offense of all time in the NFL. I mean, really, they can't get any quarterback play. Getting rid of Tyrod Taylor, I think, was just an absolute mistake. I don't know how much of a difference he would make, but he certainly wouldn't be turning the ball over as much as Peterman and Allen had, and it would have given Allen a year to develop. So I really think that they did Josh Allen a big disservice by bringing him in without a veteran like somebody like Tyrod Taylor to start in there, or bring in somebody like Derek Anderson in the beginning of the year, because he's not a great quarterback, but he's better than Nathan Peterman, and he's better than Josh Allen.
Who isn't better than Nathan Peterman? This is just a poorly run organization. They're just poorly ran. They don't know what they're doing. They had a competent quarterback, and they wanted to trade him. And they tried everything last year to ruin their chances of making the playoffs with that quarterback. So this is just an incompetent franchise. It's just a disaster. I don't expect this game to be much. I probably won't even watch it, because that's how much I'm not even interested in watching this.
It's on a Monday night too.
And I'll probably be asleep too, so that'll help.
I know. By the time those Monday nights, doesn't it stink getting old and having to work full time?
Yeah, 9 o'clock is my bedtime.
Yeah, 9 o'clock, 9:30.
So I don't.
PJs are on.
This is just gonna be just pencil it in a Patriots win, because this is a JV team. Actually, this is a freshman team.
They don't even make the JV squad?
No, this is a freshman team. I mean, when you have a player that retires at halftime, that lets you know.
That tells you a lot about something.
There have been some trades happening the past couple of days. Amari Cooper, the Raiders are just cleaning house. They've shipped off Amari Cooper to the Dallas Cowboys for a first-round pick. That's 3 first-round picks, I believe they have.
Yes, in this year.
John Gruden looks like he's trying to build the team the way he wants it to build it. He didn't like nobody that was there. Here's my thing with the Cowboys. You didn't want to trade a first-round for Earl Thomas. but you traded for an underachieving Amari Cooper who has a problem holding on to the football.
I think, well, I mean, when you first told me, you told me like right when it happened here that Amari Cooper got traded, I said, oh, wow, what, third round? And then you said, probably like third or something. And then we checked and it was a first round. And we both kind of thought like, oh, that can't be, that's got to be a mistake. But no, there was a first round pick. I mean, basically this tells you that Jason Garrett needs this to he's rolling the dice here, because if he doesn't make up the playoffs, and probably he needs to win a playoff game, if not two, to keep his job. A first round pick doesn't mean anything to him at this point, because if they don't make the playoffs, he's out.
I don't even think Jason Garrett knew about this, or he was even part of discussion about this trade.
I guarantee he was.
No, the way Jerry Jones operates, he doesn't even, he tries. Jerry Jones thinks he's a head coach too, so he just, Jason Garrett is just there for show. He's not really the coach. So does this make the Cowboys better? I don't think so. I think they're still going to be the same mediocre team. Their quarterback, they don't get the ball down the field enough. They don't get the ball down the field. So,
well, that's why they're bringing in Amari Cooper.
But Amari Cooper has a problem holding on to the ball. So now they have Allen Hurns has a problem getting her open. Amari Cooper has a problem holding on to the ball. Cole Beasley, I mean, he's a slot guy. He'll have a good game here and there, but not really. I don't know who in the world is their other receivers, but from what I've seen from this team,
their tight end is Swain.
Yeah, from what I see from the Cowboys, I just don't think this doesn't help them at all. They're just gonna play the same. They're gonna finish the season off 8-8, mediocre. That's what they are.
The division is wide open, and they think that they can win.
Redskins.
You think the Redskins are going to win that division? Well, I don't know. They think that they can win. Ezekiel Elliott is playing out of his mind. If Prescott can start running the ball more, no, you're shaking your head. No, I know, but I don't like the trade. I don't like the trade, but there is a possibility it can work out. Maybe a change of scenery sometimes works for these guys, because there's no doubt in my mind that Amari Cooper has talent.
Yeah.
There's got to be something with a wide receiver mentally when you drop as many balls he has. I think he's been. I think Crabtree have the most drops among.
Calvin Benjamin as well.
Calvin Benjamin, those guys that are known for drops, but he can get open, and he is a talent.
He
hasn't lived up to it.
Nope.
He made the Pro Bowl. Yeah, he made the Pro Bowl 1 year, but that's about it. If this works out, and there's a slim chance that it may, we all might be, coming back with egg in our faces, But as of right now, it looks like a bad trade. But I think Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett are saying, we need to win now. I don't care about what the picks look like in the future. I'll trade, I'll trade all of our picks for the future if we can win now. And I think that's where they're at.
And who knew the Raiders, John Gruden would sign on to sabotage the Raiders season, just have a tank season so far, because he's getting rid of everybody. Derek Carr might be the next to go. Who knows? Because
he's crying on the field.
Yeah,
I don't think you really want a quarterback who cries.
So John Gruden, you better.
It's the process. It's the process.
You better
it's the
hit,
NFL version of the process.
You better hit on those draft picks. That's all I got to say. In other news, other trades, Snacks Harrison got traded to Detroit.
Another team who seems like they're all in, who thinks they can win.
They're actually playing solid football. They've been consistent. They're really not having Matt Stafford throw a lot. They're running the ball a lot more.
Kerryon Johnson's for real.
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson, LeGarrette Blount, those two, they have the recipe. And I think they're finally buying into Patricia. I think it looks like they're buying in, because they had a big road win against the Dolphins. The Dolphins aren't good, but for them, that's actually a big road win.
Well, remember all the gloom and doom the very first, if you listen to sports talk radio, which I admittedly do, sometimes against my better instincts, but there was such doom and gloom after their first loss against the Jets, and how, all the interceptions Stafford threw, and how Patricia failed everybody, and how he's lost the locker room, and the players hate him, and there's so much fighting. And now
the bounce back.
And now they bounce right back. They're the Tides with the top of the division, right?
I think they're a game behind.
But either way, that division is wide open, like we just said. A lot of good teams there, and they're all in. And now they got one of the best run stoppers in the league. He's hard to move. He's going to probably make it so edge rushers are going to have more free time because they're going to have to pay more attention to him on the inside. So I think this definitely helps bolster their defense, and the Giants and the Lions are making a push for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champion, I mean, it's all that talk about New England not being fun or people don't like playing there. It's not fun blowing 17-point leads in the fourth quarter. They were up 17-0. They were doing whatever they want against the Panthers. Their receivers were getting open, and then meltdown occurred. The fourth quarter came, and Cam Newton and them folks, they just were moving the ball at will. Scored on 3 straight possessions. And then a big play that happened was one of Carolina's defensive backs drew a pass interference while the Eagles were driving to try and take back the lead. That pass interference kind of won the game because had he not did that pass interference, Alshon Jeffrey would have scored a touchdown. So that pretty much helped. But the Eagles, they have issues. The Panthers, they're starting to actually get North Turner's offense, and it looks like they're getting momentum. But the Eagles, geez.
I'm really interested in the matchup this week between the Eagles and the Jaguars. Two teams who have way underperformed from last year and from this year's expectation. They're both 3 and 4. Yeah, we can talk about the Jaguars too, but they're both 3 and 4. And are they playing I think they're playing in London, right?
Yeah, they're playing in London.
It's an early game. Wake up, have Bloody Mary and some steak and eggs and watch that game because that'll be a good game. It'll be interesting to see two teams underperformed that.
Because
might not be there.
The Jaguars, they benched Blake Bortles. This is the guy they gave the money to in the offseason. This is the guy they said we're going to stick with him. This is the guy they put their teams on. And I know those defensive players, they're biting their tongues right now because I saw the post-game interview with Jalen Ramsey. He said, we all know what the problem is. We just can't say it. Yeah, we know what the problem is. Your quarterback's not good. Your offense isn't good. You guys got full of yourselves this offseason. That big win against the Patriots, that was the highlight of the season so far for them. And they just have not looked like a good football team, offensively or defensively.
Doesn't help that Leonard Fournette is been injured pretty much all season.
Yeah,
they don't have receivers.
Nope.
Okay, so Blake Bortles, for some reason, we make him look like Aaron Rodgers, and I've said that several times before. Yeah. So you can't put all the blame on Blake Bortles. You can put a lot of it on him, but he doesn't have any weapons.
I put it on ownership too.
Yeah, on the ownership, and come on, Jalen Ramsey. Two weeks ago, you got torn up by Cole Beasley. All right.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when players, their heads get too big. They believe their own hype that they're this new unstoppable force defense, that they're like Seattle was, or the old Bears or the old Steelers defenses. No, I'm sorry, you're not that, or at least you're not playing like that to this point. Because right now they're sitting at 3 and 4.
And they're about to be
probably
3 and 5.
Yeah, and they're probably one of the worst divisions in the NFL. So I don't know where this team goes.
I don't know either, and they're just I don't know. They don't have Cody Kessler's not going to do it for them. They should have invested in a backup quarterback that could actually carry the float, but they didn't want to do that. They were all in on Blake Bortles. We knew Blake Bortles wasn't that guy. We knew after watching the AFC Championship game, everybody knew that, but they convinced themselves that he was that guy for them. I mean, he doesn't get the ball down the field. Granted, there's no receivers, but even when he had receivers, he couldn't get the ball down the field as well. So this was just another organization shooting themselves in the foot with dumb decisions. So that's all I have to say about them.
And we missed one thing that we said that we were going to talk about that's not on here, is Patrick Peterson. Now, Patrick Peterson has said that he wants out of Arizona before the trade deadline.
Now he said he wants to stay.
Now, since when?
Yeah, earlier Adam Schefter reported that.
Well, I was just reading. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
But
the rumors are he met with them.
Yeah.
Well, before the rumors were the Eagles, the Saints, and the Patriots were all in play for
also
Patrick
the Chargers.
Peterson. And the Chargers.
Yeah.
So would you give up a first-round pick for Patrick Peterson?
Yes, I would.
You would?
That guy's an athlete. He's a playmaker. I would give up a
28-year-old cornerback.
I would give up a first-round pick. Yeah, I would give it up.
I don't know. It would be hard for me to give a first-round pick. But since it's the Patriots pick, if it's the Patriots, you know it's going to be a high first-round pick, so it's probably worth it.
Maybe not. If not a first, I'll give a second round. But I'll give up a hot pick for him.
No more than that, though.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
No, two. So he may be on the trading block. Who knows? He would definitely definitely improve our defense for sure. Any team's defense that wants him. And he did express wanting to get out, but apparently Shefty knows a lot more than we do. But we'll see how that plays out. What do we have on here? Tucker missed an extra point.
Did you see his face?
The best kicker.
He was 22 for 22
in the NFL.
222 for 222 until that miss. And this is how you know you're a great kicker, because he was even shocked himself that he missed it. Because the guy just doesn't miss. He's been automatic.
He and Gostkowski have been the best kickers of the past few seasons.
His face, that was everybody's face that when they saw him miss it. And it looked like it was going to be good. It looked like it was going to be good, and then it just curved, and it was, and he couldn't believe it. He could not believe it. Nobody could believe it. But that was a well-played football game. The Ravens had ample opportunities to put that game away, but they didn't. But man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, especially for him. He took it hard. That was a tough one.
Yeah, and it happens. Like, kickers, you always say you never trust a kicker. You never want to trust a kicker. You never want to put it in their hands, because it's really the one position on the field where it's just you at that point.
Yeah.
Although you could argue the holder and the snapper too, but everybody's going to blame the kicker for that. And when you have such an automatic guy like Justin Tucker, I do think it shocked everybody. But the Ravens are a darn good team. I think that along with Kansas City and New England, they are the top of the AFC. So they're going to bounce back.
They have a tough one coming up against the Panthers. That one should be a good one.
That'll be a good match.
Now let's talk about these two explosive offenses, the Chiefs and the Rams.
Fun to watch.
These two, one undefeated, one has one loss. Two explosive offenses, weapons everywhere. I don't know who has the better weapons, but there's just weapons everywhere on this team. The Chiefs, I don't know how you can stop them. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, you got Sammy Watkins. They just playmakers all over the place. And their quarterbacks, their two young quarterbacks, are not making terrible decisions. They're not turning the ball over. Each offense is clicking. And what I like is they're getting their playmakers the ball. Todd Gurley, my MVP candidate, he's been tough to stop. Nobody can stop him. So, I mean, if we were...
And then their wide receiver trio. Woods, Cooper, and Cooks.
Yeah, this is right now. This is the idea of the Super Bowl that they want to see, the Chiefs and the Rams. But I mean, so far these two teams are the best offenses in the league.
Absolutely, and I think the Rams are. We've said it time after time. They're the best all-around team in the league. But
before you go on, I forgot to mention, Aaron Donald is starting to pick it up. He's starting to pick it up. He had 4 sacks the other day. Their defensive line is starting to pick it up.
It's taken him a little while. But I think that you could say that these are the two most explosive offenses. I still think the Patriots are just as good as an offense in terms of game planning and playing against the defensive strength. I mean, you put up more points against the Chiefs. And, that goes to something. But you're right. The most explosive offenses with the most weapons are definitely the Rams and the Chiefs. Yeah. And I want to see these guys play.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely. Now, the Titans and the Chargers, they played one crazy game. The Chargers have a lot of explosive receivers. They have a lot of explosive. They made a lot of explosive plays. They're big receivers. They're explosive. But the Titans had a chance. They're down 20-19. They just scored. They go for 2. There was a holding called, and then I was thinking they're going to kick the field goal and send it to overtime, but they go for 2 again. All right. But my thing was the play calling. It wasn't a really good play, and also the decision making. On the second 2-point conversion attempt, he had the tight end open. And he didn't throw it right away, and he threw it into the end zone right there. And it was, I'm not gonna go argue against it, but I thought they would kick the field goal for the second when they called the holding just to send it to overtime. But the play calling for the second one, you have to draw up a better play than that one.
See, this is what happens when you miss the rundown. I didn't get to review that, so I'll just take your word for everything you just said, and still I'll disagree with you, just for argument's sake and to make it a little bit more entertaining.
My bad. All right, our last NFL headline: the New York Giants and their struggles. So we talked about they traded away Damon Harrison, and they also traded Eli Apple to the Saints.
He's a young quarterback.
But
on him.
That team. There was chemistry issues with that, and he was one of those issues that in the locker room. So
But when you only win one game
Yeah.
in the season, there's going to be a lot of locker room issues for sure.
Once again, Eli Manning was troubles getting the ball down the field, troubles getting the ball to his playmakers. I think there was one play he held onto the ball too long. He had Beckham open in the end zone for a touchdown, and he held it too long, and I don't know what kind of pass he threw. But the Giants that's another team we need to put in conversations for the number 1 overall pick for the next year's draft.
True.
Because they are not a good football team. And once again, I mean, they're still talking about Odell being the problem, but hey, I'll say it again. Odell is one of their many problems. That offensive line is atrocious. Very, very atrocious. Nate Solder was getting tossed around that game. And
I think, who was it? I think Colin Coward or whatever his name is, said that Bill Belichick has been making some of these players, making some of these other coaches and franchises look foolish by passing up on paying some guys.
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler, who he didn't want to pay, has looked like crap.
Yeah.
Nate Solder, who he didn't want to pay, has looked like crap. So, we kind of got on them, at least I did, by saying, Nate Solder should have been a priority. And then, of course, we all wanted to see Butler signed, but both of those two guys, they're struggling this year outside of Bill Belichick's coaching scheme.
yeah, so I mean, Giants, hey, hopefully you guys draft a quarterback because or trade for
Saquon
one.
Barkley is something to build around.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley is
can build around
definitely
Saquon.
something to build around.
Odell, for all his antics, he's still
He's still a distraction for me. I would ship him out. I'd get 2 first-round picks.
Too late
and
now.
maybe
You
a
already
second.
paid him. You already paid him.
Somebody
too
will
late.
take on that
Too
contract.
late.
Are you kidding me?
Too late. Maybe the Rams will because they took on a whole lot of contracts. DraftKings, Brian won again.
I always win. Come on. I put up a darn good score too. If you followed me and you played for beans, you would have won some beans that week.
Yeah.
Ours is just for fun.
For fun, and I haven't won in a couple of weeks.
Have you won? Period. Let me just see.
I've won two. I've won two. Don't play me.
Yeah. Okay. So I put up 147. Craig put up 141, and you put up a floundering 88.
Yeah, it was not a good week.
A great week.
All right, so
who do you got this week? Come on.
So my lineup, per page could bring that up. I have Brady. I have Brady as my quarterback. They're playing.
Good old Timmy.
They're playing the Bills. So, yeah, that's pretty much simple. I'm trying to pick up my lineup right now. I forgot who I picked.
That's always good.
Yeah,
It must be very memorable. Lineup.
I'm terrible at it. So, all right. So I have Brady. I have Kareem Hunt, of course. I have Joe Mixon, Marquise Goodwin, Josh Gordon, Robert Woods, O.J. Howard, Jared Cook, and I have the Steelers defense.
Okay, not bad. You don't want to give any explanation on why you chose those guys?
No, that's just who I chose.
Okay,
I just looked at their opponents.
So based on the track record of Mukala, you can look at who to avoid this week. And based on my track record, you can look on who that you want to keep on your team. And maybe if you can combine the two, you might actually win something in your own league. Because I got some good guys. Pedro, let's bring it up because I only have it on the small screen right here. So I got a guy that you don't like, but I'm going to stick with my home quarterback and wide receiver combo, and that's Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen. I think Adam Thielen has been the best wide receiver this year in the NFL.
That I agree.
And Kirk Cousins has a great matchup this week against a soft New Orleans defense, and they are at home. Going with Marlon Mack, ride the hot hand. The guys looked great. Oakland does not have a great defense.
At all.
James White has been one of the best, if not the best, dual threat running backs in the league. T.Y. Hilton, Andrew Luck, we were both just saying off air that he has the second most touchdown passes. T.Y. Hilton's their best receiver. Jordy Nelson, he's going to step up big now that there's no Amari Cooper. And who do I have? Burton, he tore us up this week. I'm expecting he could do it against the Jets. Lamar Miller, he's been getting a lot of featured touchdowns, and he's their number one featured back, and they're home against Miami. And then I had to go cheap on defense, and I decided to agree with you and go versus Pittsburgh versus Cleveland because those matchups are always tight, and Pittsburgh's at home. So I would tend to lean towards me. Why don't we see what good old Craig and the Blimps got? Why don't you take us out?
Yeah, here's Craig with this week's Fantasy No Huddle, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about some fighting.
Ooh.
What's
What's up, everybody, and welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. You check out my show, The Flex, Wednesday nights at 9, or on my Facebook page, Craig Campbell. But right now, I'm here to give you my DraftKings picks of the week. I should have won last week, but I got cheated. Joe Mixon didn't do it for me, but my team did play well all together. Joe Mixon could have just put up, 7 more points. But anyway, moving on to this week's picks. For my quarterback, I'm going with Jameis Winston. They're going up against Cincinnati. Defense isn't doing real well. They got good wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson is hot. Mike Evans is hot. O.J. Howard is hot. Look for them to keep moving that ball. I think Jameis Winston's going to have a week. Normally, I don't take risks on the running backs, but this week I think I'm picking 2 risky running backs who one of them definitely performs every week, but the other one only had 1 good week. I'm going with Marlon Mack. He's back from injury. He had a monster week this past week. He's going up against the Raiders, whose defense is terrible, so I expect they're just going to keep lunging the ball down the middle. They're probably going to win. They're going to probably be up in the half, which means the second half they're just going to be pounding the ball. Who are they going to use? Marlon Mack. And then my second, I'm going to use Phillip Lindsay. Phillip Lindsay's been getting the job done. He's hitting double digits most weeks. I think they have a pretty decent matchup going into this week's game. So I like Phillip Lindsay, and I'm going to roll the dice on him, and I'm hoping this isn't going to be the 1 week he hits single digits. So put Lindsay in your DraftKings lineup, and maybe he puts up numbers for you. For wide receivers, I'm going with Josh Gordon. Patriots going up against the Bills. Josh Gordon almost had a touchdown last week. He put up 14 points without a touchdown. If he would have got that touchdown, he would have broke 20. So I'm looking at him to do that this week. I think Josh Gordon breaks 20 points because he scores a touchdown. John Brown, I made the mistake of not playing him last week. I'm not going to make that this week. They've got a good matchup. I'm putting him in my lineup against the Panthers. So look for John Brown to put up a touchdown for you. And then I'm liking Jordy Nelson. Once again, Jordy Nelson's going up against the Colts. Colts going up against the Raiders. Neither one has a very good defense against the aerial attack. So I like Jordy Nelson. He's a hell of a wide receiver. And now he just got that #1 slot with Amari Cooper being traded to the Cowboys. So look at Jordy Nelson this week. For my tight end, I'm putting in Kittle. Kittle. I love Kittle. No matter how strong a defense they're playing, no matter how bad the 49ers are playing, Kittle gonna get that ball. Kittle, baby. Put him in your roster. And then for my flex, none other than all the money I saved going to Juju Smith-Schuster. That boy is good. He is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I'm putting him in that top 20 slot, and I think that he's going to get the job done for me against the Cleveland Browns because Antonio Brown's going to get that double coverage. So Juju Smith definitely deserves a roster spot in DraftKings. And for my defense, what I believe will be the best defense of the week is my boys, the Patriots. They're going to run all over the Bills. They're going to intercept. They're going to sack. They're going to pick six. They're going to do it all because the Bills are terrible. They're playing with a quarterback who's been in the NFL for about 2 weeks now. Obviously he was a backup before, but he didn't play NFL this year. He's only playing now. Put the Pats in. They're going to get the job done. Patriots defense. So my DraftKings lineup, Jameis Winston, Marlon Mack, Phillip Lindsay, Josh Gordon, Jordy Nelson, George Kittle, Juju Smith-Schuster, and the Patriots defense. Those are my DraftKings picks of the week. This show is No Huddle. We're on After the Whistle. And then check my show out Wednesday nights at 9 or on my Facebook page, The Flex, for your fantasy football advice every week. Till then, good luck. Have a good night.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. He had some similar thinking along with me, Marlon Mack and Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, he did.
Remember, folks, the teams don't have to be good, even though it's the Colts versus the Raiders,
It's
you know,
just the
it's just the players.
Yeah.
That's what's great about fantasy. It's amazing how he stays so steady in that
know, right?
blimp.
I know, right?
You know, you can see him tilting downwards sometimes, but he didn't even move.
We got funds here.
We have a lot of money to put. We have money to put members up in a blimp, but for some reason we still can't get up in that blimp. One of these days. One of these days. All right, so we had some fights. In sports.
Yes.
And normally this time of year you're thinking, oh, okay, it's hockey. Oh, no, not hockey. If it's not hockey, it's got to be baseball. Somebody must have gotten pegged. No, this was actually a basketball fight.
Yes.
Why don't you
NBA
explain?
fights. I love it.
Me too, they're
Rondo
the best.
versus Chris Paul. Apparently, this is something that's
we
been
go.
brewing for years. Rondo and Chris Paul have never liked each other
was
ever
not a
since
good
Rondo
punch.
was in Boston.
Yeah.
They've never liked each other. They've came close to fighting a few times, but shockingly, this was the first time there were some connecting punches. Rondo got him good. Chris Paul got him good too. I need to see another
They weren't
round.
really that good. They weren't really that good
as
shots.
long as you connect, as long
Right,
you see
I
like
guess,
that,
yeah, but
boom,
he's
like that
muscling
right
him.
there, boom.
Yeah. You got to
Chris
keep
Paul
your
got
other
him
hand
good.
up, though. 'cause
Chris
somebody
Paul.
could've-
This all
And then
started.
was that Julius Randle coming in? Who's the other
Brandon
guy?
Ingram.
Brandon Ingram. Yeah,
this is
sorry,
what
Brandon
basically
Ingram.
Brandon Ingram was the one who started it because he got a foul called on James Harden because James Harden flopped on a play and then he pushed him, got in his face. They broke it up and then Rondo. That's when
Well,
Rondo
they're
and
also
Chris
saying
Paul.
Rondo spit in Chris Paul's face.
Have you seen
He's
that slow
denying it.
motion?
I haven't seen what somebody
don't
broke
have
it
it.
down frame by frame.
Yeah, they broke it down for him. I'm still skeptical on this.
don't
Rondo
know.
spit on him, purposely spit in his face. I just think they was going back and forth and, testosterone and
Yeah, both of those guys can be kind of cranky,
especially if
whiny guys.
especially if you have a mouth guard too. So I'm still skeptical about Rondo actually spitting on him. I think the saliva just came from them going back and forth. But you feel saliva on your face, that's usually what's going to happen. So Rondo got 3 games. Brandon Ingram got suspended 4 games, and Chris Paul got suspended 2 games. They're lucky. David Stern wasn't the commissioner because if it was David Stern, all of them would probably be suspended for over 15 games.
Yeah,
because
but that's crazy.
That's David Stern because David Stern's out of control. But
I think it should be just a fine. We need more of this in basketball because
bring it
basketball's
back to
gone
the
so
80s.
soft.
Bring it back to the
these
80s.
days.
Yeah, the Lakers so far 0-3. The LeBron haters are, they're having a field day.
He can't hit a free throw.
No, he missed 2 free throws. What was hilarious is they're saying Kobe Bryant would never miss 2 free throws, and there's videos of him missing free throws in the clutch. So this Kobe Bryant and LeBron fans back and forth. This
You
is
just
the
said
most
Kobe LeBryant.
Kobe Bryant. Yeah. I'm making
Kobe
stuff up.
LeBryant.
I'm making stuff up. But those 2 fan bases are going back and forth. That's the most entertaining part about the NBA season. The Kobe fans and the LeBron fans going back and forth.
Have you ever seen anything like this, though, where one player is so associated with the franchise that even when they bring in a new player, they're choosing the old player instead of grabbing in the franchise?
Nope.
I mean, you think of
Not even with Michael
let's
Jordan.
let's think of other sports. Montana and Steve Young.
Yeah.
And then even closer, John Elway, Peyton Manning. I mean, those were guys who came over and they were, embraced.
Yeah.
But it's not happening.
Yeah, Kobe fans are just delusional. Kobe fans, they have this delusion about Kobe Bryant. They're just delusional. They are.
Well, he is one of the best players of all time.
He is, but they're very delusional. Kobe Bryant fans are very delusional on certain things.
Well, there's a lot of LeBron fans that are delusional as well, I think.
Yeah, but
What I
Kobe
want to know
fans-
is where just the actual Lakers fans and where do they stand on this?
Who even knows? Who cares? Who cares about the Lakers? Quick Celtics update. They're 2-2. I was at the past 2 games.
As of Wednesday when we film this.
They won in the Garden. They beat down the Knicks. Jason Tatum was on his A game, but against the Magic, which I consider a JV team, they just were horrible. They couldn't make a shot. They couldn't get stops. They couldn't do nothing. They couldn't rebound. Jaylen Brown has a guy that's 5'10" on him, and I don't know why he's not in the post. They just play terrible. They play terrible. They're back on the court tomorrow. I believe tonight or tomorrow. They're back on the court, but they're early season struggles. I'm not too worried, but they just need to fix the rebounding and a little bit of the defense, but they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, their 2 stars are coming off of surgeries and long time off. This group of guys hasn't played together. There's there's always that thing that I think Jacksonville had their defense where you kind of buy into your own hype.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need these losses in the beginning and then to improve on it. Look at what happened with the Bruins.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I will say about the NBA, the first October, November, I still consider those preseason games.
Yeah,
they're still kind of preseason. The NBA season doesn't start until Christmas.
After Christmas Day, once those Christmas Day games start going.
That's when everything gets serious. World Series, Game 1 was last night. The Red Sox took it 8-4. Nunez hit a 3-run home run.
I watched a lot of that game. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, the Red Sox, they played well. They had both aces on Chris Sales and Clayton Kershaw. Sales only lasted about 4. I think they both lasted 4 innings.
He is a skinny, sickly looking dude, isn't he, Chris Sale?
Yeah, but
I've never really seen him. Yeah, he can, but he looks like sickly.
Yeah.
He needs to get tested.
I don't know.
He's so skinny.
I don't know the water out there in California. I don't know what. I don't know. But the Red Sox, it's a good start. It's a good start to the World Series. A good win. They were getting hits. They were getting on bases. Their playmakers came through. That 3-run home run was really the dagger. That was the dagger of the game. So so far 1-0. Game 2 is tonight, Wednesday, October 24th, 2018 at 8. I might go into Boston to watch it.
David Price pitching. What do you
David
think?
Price. Maybe he could
finally got his first playoff.
Maybe he
win.
could carry over. Maybe it could carry on. The momentum for him could carry on. He just got to play well. Just play well. That's it. Just play well. Because the offense, they get on base a lot and they'll get a home run here and there. Price just got to get Puig out, get those McAdoo out. Just make sure those guys don't get going.
My favorite part is when they switch to the NL rules in the World Series, and then the pitchers have to hit. Yeah, that's like really my only favorite part of the World Series.
Like seeing pitchers
just seeing pitchers try to hit the ball. Yeah. That's really what I like, and that's going to be interesting. They'll probably put JD Martinez in. It's always weird how you kind of have to maneuver those lineups. So I'm guessing Martinez will play the outfield. I'm really just repeating what I heard on the radio, But no, it was a little bit interesting watching what I did. But I'm sorry, folks. I can't sit through a whole baseball game, even if it is the Red Sox in the World Series. I can't do it. I apologize.
You got to go to a bar and watch it, man. Watch it with some crazy people.
Still, I think that I would be going through my cell phone trying to set my fantasy football line.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of football, there's some playoff games starting this week. Friday, Lynn English High, they play Concord Carlisle. Concord. Same difference. They play them Friday at Manning Field at 7:30. We had Lynn English football coach Chris Carroll on, along with quarterback Matt Severance. So here's this week's Athletes Corner. We haven't had one in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. We got 2 special guests. We got Matt Severance and Chris Carroll. Lynn English High is in the building. They got a big game this Friday against Concord Carlisle. I think that's school, right?
Yeah.
Playoff game. We're gonna talk about that. But first, let's talk about the season. You guys finished off the regular season 6-1. Just talk about what you guys learned throughout the season about the team.
Yeah, I think starting off, it was every year's a new year, and coming off a successful year with a lot of senior starters, we had a lot of new guys getting into the lineup. Obviously, we had some experience success, such as Matt, 4-year starter, Ishmael Bangora, 3-year starter, Prince Brown, and then Matthias Fowler, guys that have been in the system. So to see our growth from week 1 to where we are now, before week 1, from the camp to where we are now, we preached getting better, and we're going to be a team that wants to keep getting better every single game. And I think that's one of the things that we've done. We're playing some of our best football right now, and it's a good time to be playing good football.
Matt, for you personally, after that loss to Malden Catholic, what did you guys do to ensure you guys finish off strong and just play better from that game on?
I just think the whole mentality of our team in terms of focus, and focus. We kind of just brought a different energy to practice, and we kind of had to buckle down and be like, we had to figure out how we want to go as seniors. Yeah. For the most part, yeah. And then the underclassmen did a great job of just coming together and really maturing throughout the season. And Coach Carroll brought up the word growth, and I think that that's a really good word for our group because we're so young, and we're just trying to get better every day.
How did you guys keep the consistency? How did you help keep the consistency on offense and defense? You are the quarterback. You also play defense. So how were you able to keep the consistency with everything?
I just try not to get over my head too much. Just try to stay focused at what I'm doing at that point, and just trust everyone around me.
Mm-hmm. Coach, how do you see a team? You guys can win in different styles. So, what is that going to be like going forward? Because you guys could play a low-scoring game, you guys could play a high-scoring game. So, how are you going to be able to manage that during the playoffs?
Yeah, so we've talked a lot this week. It's playoff time, so it's playoff football, and it's whatever it takes. We got to win. You got to find ways to win. Good teams find ways to win, and our defense has improved a lot over these last 3 weeks, and that's something that we've really been stressing. Our offense has been there, and it's in a variety of ways, whether it's wide open spread and Matt's throwing the ball, 25, 30 times a game to a very talented group of receivers, or it's Ishmael Bangura pounding the ball for 25, 30 times a game. We're able to come at you in a bunch of different ways on offense, but defense is really a place where we've put a lot of focus, and that's where a lot of the growth's happened. And the defense clamping down, being able to make stops and get off the field is a way that we really, something that we have to keep improving on. And but when it comes down to winning football games in the playoffs, you're facing the best of the best in Massachusetts, and you just got to find ways to win.
Can you guys both just talk about the running attack, because the running attack has been really productive for you guys. Can you guys just talk about that?
Yeah, started off. So, this day and age, spread offense is so prevalent throughout, the country. State of Massachusetts is 7-on-7s, and we enter all that stuff. And so much focus goes into the passing attack, and we have a great passing attack. I mean, it's a passing attack with an experienced, very good quarterback, some very good receivers, some lethal receivers. So, it's really, that's something we pride ourselves in, being able to be explosive in the passing attack. But that being said, your question about the rushing attack, it's something that we want to be able to do, and we pride ourselves in being able to run the football. And Ishmael Bangura is our featured back. He's a guy that he worked really hard, this off season in getting, in better shape and being stronger and tougher and faster. And he's a tremendous running back. Our offensive line's done a great job opening holes, and the way we look at it is if you control the line of scrimmage with the running the ball, it opens everything else up. Yeah,
Matt, you're dual threat too. You do a lot in the air and a lot in the ground. So how is that productivity like for you and helping out just in the running game?
I just think in football in general, when it comes to offense, I think being one-dimensional. You have to have different aspects to your game, and I just think it opens up everything. And like Coach Carroll said, the offensive line's been doing a great job, and they keep improving.
Can you talk about your opponent this coming Friday? What are some things that you've seen so far that you guys really have to focus on and taking away from them?
Well, they're 4-2. They play tough matchups week in and week out. We know that. We're coming in as 2 seed, they're coming in 7 seed, but they're a really physical team. They stick to what they do, and they do it real well, and we just have to stay focused.
Coach, what are some things that you're looking at that this team does well, and some things that you guys see you could take advantage of from them?
Yeah, this team, I think first one of the things that jumps out is they play pretty fast on defense, especially at the linebacker level. They have some good speed there, some good athletes, you can tell, and their D-line kind of gets after it a little bit. Offensively, Matt alluded to it, they're a team that, they kind of more under center most of the time. Power football style, the wing T kind of our concepts, but they play a tough league. Duke County League's tough league, and they're 4-2. They play a good schedule. They're a tough team, and we don't see them all that often, so it's kind of getting to know each other on the fly. But we expect a tough game from a team that seems to be pretty well coached and a good opponent.
Yeah, last year you guys came close. Lost a nail biter. What are you guys hoping to do this year that'll get you guys over the hump?
Yeah. So, the good thing about that is you gain experience, right? So you know how hard it took to get there, and you know how much harder it is to get past that game that we lost in last year. And we're not looking into that game. It's one of the things I talked to the kids about tonight. Is just it's one day at a time. It's you're playing each game to play your next in advance. Survive in advance, and. You learn a lot from last year, but each year's a new year, and each team's a different team. And I think not getting too ahead of yourselves and just thinking about the next day and then the next play is the message that I like to send. And if you do that and you do it to the best of your ability, good things should happen. Good things can happen.
Yeah, Matt, talk about the experience of last year's postseason that's going to help you this postseason, I should say.
Well, last year we made a deep run. We came in as the #1 seed, played Winchester, beat them, and then Billerica and Tewksbury. Tewksbury was a really tough team. They took us to the last play, and they ended up beating us. So I would just say that what I take away from that game is just like mental toughness, because throughout the game they took some shots at us, and we bounced back, but they took more shots and we couldn't really recover. So I would just say like keeping my team, like maintaining focus and just keeping level, especially with such a young group.
Yeah, definitely. And lastly, just talk about breaking his record this season. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, I've been getting asked about that a lot.
Yeah, I was there when he broke his.
But so yeah, it's crazy to think about breaking his record. I actually didn't even know. No one told me. So yeah, it's crazy to think about because I don't know. I feel like he just has the record and like no one's even gonna come close to it. And but it's really crazy to think about just because of how well praised he is, not just in football but like in the city of Lynn in general. So it's just an amazing honor.
Yeah, your record got broken, man.
Yeah, I couldn't be more happy and more proud of Matt. He's a tremendous kid. He's worked tremendously hard at everything he does. I always mention kind of the school work first. He's over a 4.0 with all AP and honors classes, and then couple that with his success on the football field, being a leader. He brings it every single day. He's not one of these guys that just brings it in the games. Every day he's leading our practices, and I couldn't pick a better kid to break that record and hold that record, and I'm happy for him, and it's earned. He earned every bit of it, and I'm happy to be a part of it too with him. And he mentioned we didn't tell him. We had the big game versus Swampscott, and kind of told him after the game, but his parents knew, and it was a nice little ceremony, for the team after the big win, and then also for him on an individual achievement that he's worked really hard for. So I couldn't be more happy and proud of him for that.
Especially against Swampscott.
Especially against Swampscott. You know that, Mukala.
That's big. And lastly, that's your camera right there. Tell them Friday what time they should be at Manning Field.
The game starts 7:30 Friday night, Manning Field.
All right. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank
you guys for being here. You guys got a hectic week, but good luck Friday. I'm sure you guys will get that win, but good luck, and we'll see you guys. Hopefully you guys are back here with the trophy. That's all that matters.
Thank you.
All right, you guys been watching Athletes Corner. Going to toss it back to Brian. Florida State.
Oh, hello, and welcome back to After the Whistle. Very good interview once again. That's crazy, breaking the record of his coach. That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. And it's going to be a great Thanksgiving Day game this year.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you rooting for again?
Come on now. You already know the answer to that.
All right. Let's jump right into a big upset, and
Before that, you had an announcement.
Oh, yeah. So I guess there's an announcement. Manny Pacquiao has signed with Al Heyman's PBC Premier Boxing Championships. And the rumor is that Mayweather is going to come out of retirement, and they are going to have a rematch of their 2015 fight in the spring. Yeah, you yawn. If you didn't see it, he yawned. But you'll buy it.
No, I won't.
Well, okay, well, I'll buy it, and I'll invite you over because I'm still interested in watching it. And I'm sure Pedro is too, no matter how old these guys are. But it's very interesting because there's so much politics in boxing. Yeah. And Al Heyman has hated Bob Arum, who was with Manny Pacquiao for years and years and years, and now for him to just sign with Al Heyman now is a huge smack in the face to Bob Arum, who needs a big smack in the face.
That's about all the drama that we'll get from that fight. I mean, college football, not really much. The only big one was Ohio State getting upset by Purdue.
Ooh, not just upset.
They got ran out the building.
Yeah, blowout.
Yeah, so now Michigan's looking like the favorite in the Big Ten right now. So. The only big game this week is number 9 Georgia and number 7 Georgia and number 9 Florida. Which one you got?
Oh, I'm going to take Georgia.
I'll take Georgia as well.
Okay.
That's it. All right. That's our NCAA update. We'll have more next week when they actually top 4 they start revealing.
When they do all
Yeah,
that
we'll have
good
more.
stuff.
We'll have more. Now it's time for our predictions.
Broncos versus Cardinals.
I'm going. Where is this game? It's in Glendale. I want to say the Cardinals.
I'm going to go Broncos. Okay, Titans at the Chargers.
Chargers.
Panthers at the Eagles.
I can't go against Cam. Panthers.
I'm going to go with you, too. Panthers. Eagles is not. They having that Super Bowl hangover. Vikings at the Jets.
Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings. Sorry, Jets. You're good, but I can't pick you.
That's my run ends with picking the Jets.
Worst game of the week, the Bills at the Colts.
Colts got to get one. They need one.
Colts
they need it
will
bad.
get one with Eric Anderson starting. Patriots at the Bears in Chicago.
Patriots.
The Browns at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa needs it. Tampa needs it.
Tampa needs it. Cleveland needs it. I'm going with Cleveland.
Cleveland doesn't really need it, but Tampa needs it.
Cleveland needs it. Cleveland needs all the wins that they can get for all the losses that they've had over the past few years. I'm going with Cleveland.
They're going to be tanking soon.
Easy now. Don't tell that to Craig. Craig absolutely loves the Browns. Okay, so we got the Texans at the Jaguars.
I'm going with the Texans.
I think the Jags are going to be able to make a home stand and have a bounce-back game against the bad Texans team. Lions at the Dolphins.
Lions.
I'm going to go with Lions, too. I think they're going to spoil another AFC East team. So let's go with Saints at the Ravens. This is going to be a solid game.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
I might turn Red Zone off and watch this one.
I'm going to say the Ravens.
You know what? I'm going to say the Saints. We're good. Cowboys at Redskins.
Redskins.
Cowboys. Rams at 49ers.
Rams.
Bengals at the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Giants at the Falcons.
Falcons.
Falcons for me as well.
NFL predictions.
You want to read them? Or you want me to read them?
You go ahead.
Okay, Dolphins at the Texans.
The Texans have been playing good football for the past couple weeks. Granted, their opponents haven't been good. I'm going to go with the Texans.
I'm going to go with the Texans, too. The Eagles and the Jaguars, I believe this is in London because it's at 9:30, but
they can't win in America, try to win in Europe. So I'll go with the Eagles because I don't trust the Jaguars.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars because you can't really trust the Eagles either. Okay, the Redskins at the New York Giants.
The team from Washington.
I am going to go with the Giants. Why not?
Why not?
The Browns at the Steelers.
Steelers.
The Seahawks at the Lions.
I'm actually going to go with the Lions.
I'm going to go with the Lions, too. They've been playing well. We just talked about that. The Broncos at the Chiefs.
I can't go against Mahomes. And this is in Kansas City.
It's in Arrowhead. I can't either. It's got to be the Chiefs here. The Ravens at the Panthers.
I can never go against Cam Newton, so Panthers.
This is going to be a great matchup. I think the Ravens are going to steal this one on the road. Jets at the Bears.
Trubisky, hold it down. I can't root for. I can't.
Yeah, I'm
picking these New
I'm
York
with you on
teams.
that. I'm with the Bears after seeing Trubisky last week. I think that he's going to get the job done. The Buccaneers at the Bengals.
Bucks.
Bengals. Colts at the Raiders.
Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to go Colts too. The 49ers at the Cardinals.
Pick'em game, Niners.
It is a pick'em game. Cardinals, just for the sake of argument. The Packers at the Rams.
Ooh, this is good. This should be a good one. I will go with the younger team, the Rams.
I am going to go with the Rams too. And the best game of the week, the Saints versus the Vikings, the Sunday night game.
Saints will win it because of what happened in the playoffs.
I agree with you. I think the Saints are going to win it. Drew Brees, I think, is going to get the MVP this year, hopefully, finally, for the first time. And then the Patriots versus the Bills. I don't think we need to reveal it. I think we're both going to pick the Patriots.
Yeah, we're picking the Patriots. And with that, we out of here. That's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. www.lyntv.org. Check it out.
You don't have to say www anymore.
www.lyntv.org. We're out of here. Come check us out. I think we have something going on here next week. I'm not sure, but whatever. Peace
You'll
out.
find it on the website.
Yeah, 90s.
It looks like a Nickelodeon song.
It does look.